Michael Jordan's trash talk ended careers, but these 5 rivals refused to break. They stared straight into the eyes of a man who thrived on psychological warfare and answered him with a level of confidence he couldn't shake. Jordan pushed them, pressured them, and tried to twist their emotions until they cracked.
I don't know what happened, but I know I didn't lead the walk-off.
Well, I know it's all
going to take Michael Jordan inside, and not really happy with a play late in game 1 as they got tangled up, got a double technical foul. I ran into Gary Payton on the elevator yesterday saying, I am not going to take any more of that from Michael Jordan.
But these 5 competitors didn't flinch, didn't fold, and didn't let him inside their heads. They challenged him mentally, physically, and emotionally, standing tall when most players collapsed under the weight of his aura. These are the 5 players Jordan simply could not break. Jordan didn't just dominate teams with his athleticism or scoring. His most devastating weapon was the ability to dismantle an opponent's mindset. He wanted players second-guessing themselves, questioning their abilities, shrinking whenever he tightened the pressure. He studied body language, picked at insecurities, and used every competitive edge to get inside a rival's head.
Just around the corner, but quickly everybody's talking about Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan.
Oh, well, this is the matchup that everybody's been waiting to see here in Los Angeles. You got the teacher versus the student. Kobe's trying to steal his knowledge.
Little advice from the master.
Man, the education. He's now in a postgraduate course.
Yeah. Guarded by Bryant. Takes him inside and banks it home.
For most players, the battle was lost before the first quarter even finished. But with these 5 players, Jordan's psychological tricks didn't land. They rejected intimidation, pushed back with their own strengths, and stayed centered in who they were. Watching their matchups with Jordan reveals something deeper than highlights or box scores. These men forced Jordan to compete at a psychological level few dared to reach, and they earned a place in his story not because they beat him physically, but because they withstood the mental hurricane he used to destroy everyone else.
Against anybody?
Never.
Have you ever been intimidated by anybody?
Never. I mean, these guys put on their shorts just like me. I don't fear anyone on the basketball.
1. John Stockton. First is John Stockton, the most unshakable point guard Jordan ever faced. Stockton wasn't loud, flashy, or expressive. He was the definition of composure, calm eyes, controlled pace, and absolute trust in his fundamentals. The Bulls knew Stockton was the core of Utah's offense. If they could push him out of rhythm, the entire system would collapse. So they pressured him constantly. They bumped him full court, chased him over screens, and tried to turn every possession into chaos. But Stockton responded the same way every time, with silence, precision, and the same steady decision-making that made him one of the greatest point guards in history. Gary Payton once said Stockton was harder to guard than Michael Jordan because he never reacted emotionally.
He wasn't tougher than Jordan. Yes, he was.
You just didn't.
Yes, he was.
Gary,
you guys didn't
Gary,
play against him. I did.
Gary, be honest.
I'm upset. I played against that man.
Gary.
That truth is what frustrated Jordan. Stockton couldn't be baited. He didn't respond to trash talk, didn't show anger after hard fouls, and didn't allow Jordan's intensity to pull him out of character. When Jordan glared, Stockton simply dribbled into the next action. When the crowd roared, he ran the same pick and roll with the same exact timing. And when defenders threw him to the floor, he stood up immediately, unfazed. Jordan thrived on rattling opponents emotionally, but Stockton played basketball like a surgeon, sharp, methodical, unemotional. He didn't need to score 30 points or take over with highlight plays. He only needed to make the correct choice, every possession, no matter the pressure. And that's what made him mentally unbreakable. Jordan couldn't twist a player whose game wasn't built on emotion in the first place. Stockton survived every psychological attack because he simply didn't acknowledge the battle. He knew who he was, knew how he played, and stayed locked into fundamentals so deeply that no amount of trash talk could pull him out. That's what made him one of the few Jordan could not crack. 2. Gary Payton. Second is Gary Payton, the one guard who refused to let Jordan talk down to him. Unlike Stockton's calm resistance, Payton fought fire with fire. He talked as much trash as Jordan did, sometimes more. When they met in the 1996 finals, Jordan dominated early games. But once Payton took the primary assignment, everything shifted. Payton got physical. He denied Jordan's catches, harassed him on drives, and forced him into grueling possessions. He body-checked him, bumped him, and challenged him verbally on every play.
His inside arm. Well, let's see. Well, we leave a hat trick. Controlled by Jordan. And now the foul with 3 seconds remaining. Oh, Peyton and Jordan having some words, face to face, and Hopper guides Peyton away.
Jordan later laughed off the idea that Peyton bothered him, but the game film and Peyton's intensity tell a different story. Jordan's shots became tougher, his rhythm slowed, and his frustration grew. Peyton wanted Jordan to feel uncomfortable, and he was one of the few players bold enough to look Jordan in the eyes and talk right back. The reason Jordan couldn't break Peyton is simple. Peyton thrived on confrontation. He loved pushing the game into a mental brawl. For Peyton, the trash talk was part of the competition. It fueled him instead of distracting him. Where Jordan expected silence and fear, Peyton responded with louder confidence and deeper aggression. The more Jordan pushed, the more Peyton pushed back. Peyton's belief in himself never wavered. He wasn't intimidated by Jordan's accolades, highlights, or superstar aura. He played with the conviction that he belonged on that stage. That self-belief made him unbreakable in a way few guards ever were. Jordan's psychological pressure fed Peyton instead of weakening him. And that's why Peyton remains one of the rare players Jordan simply couldn't mentally dominate. 3. Reggie Miller. Third is Reggie Miller, the sharpshooting agitator who refused to treat Jordan like a myth. Miller wasn't physically imposing, but he possessed a fierce confidence that made him dangerous. He ran through screens relentlessly, talked constantly, and hit clutch shots with a swagger that irritated opponents. But what truly made him unique was his fearlessness against Jordan. In Game 4 of the 1998 Eastern Conference Finals, Miller delivered one of the boldest plays ever seen against Jordan. He shoved Jordan to create space, rose up confidently, and drilled a game winner with MJ flying past him. Most players feared even making contact with Jordan. Miller didn't hesitate to push him aside in the biggest moment of the game. Jordan insulted him, calling him that little S from Indiana, but beneath the words was genuine respect. Because Miller didn't care about reputations. He cared about competition. He played freely, never letting Jordan's presence change his approach. Miller kept chirping even when the Pacers were behind.
9 seconds. Harper's on Miller. McKee gets it in the middle for the win.
Unbelievable! Reggie hits the 3 with 7/10 of a second.
He kept running even when Jordan chased him relentlessly. And he kept believing he could beat the Bulls even when few teams ever had. That belief shielded him from Jordan's mind games. He never let the pressure of the moment or the weight of Jordan's legacy cloud his confidence. Miller played with a fighter's spirit, and that made him one of the few Jordan couldn't mentally bend. 4. Isaiah Thomas. Fourth is Isaiah Thomas, the heart of the Detroit Pistons and the architect behind the infamous Jordan rules. Before Jordan's dominance truly began, Isaiah was the one star who consistently beat him. The Pistons didn't just use physicality to slow Jordan, they attacked him mentally. Every foul had a purpose. Every bump carried a message. Every trap was designed to frustrate him. Isaiah understood psychology at an elite level. He knew that for Jordan to rise, he needed to harden. So the Pistons made every game a test of emotional endurance. They hit him on drives, doubled him in the post, and kept him off balance.
To me, the best point guard of all time is Magic Johnson, and right behind him is Isaiah Thomas.
If you want to attribute it to me, go ahead, be my guest. But it wasn't.
You know, when you're talking about this Bulls team, you're really only talking about Michael Jordan. His energy level is so much greater than ours and performing at a level that we frankly just weren't able to reach.
They pushed him to anger, hoping frustration would dissolve his focus. And for years it worked. Jordan never forgot that. The tension between him and Isaiah stretched from playoff battles to Olympic controversies. The famous walk-off handshake snub in 1991 wasn't just disrespect. It was a final mental blow in a rivalry defined by pride.
Lead the walk-off. There were several people in the center field. I don't know what happened, but I know I didn't lead the walk-off. If I'd have known that it would have caused this much stir, then we would have shook hands.
But the reason Jordan hated Isaiah so deeply is also the reason he respected him. Isaiah never feared him. He didn't bow to Jordan's rising superstardom. He believed the Pistons were stronger mentally and physically, and he played with that conviction.
No matter how much I hated him. Now, it was insinuated that I was asking about him, but I never threw his name.
Isaiah possessed leadership that didn't crack under Jordan's intensity, and that made him one of the few players Jordan could not break psychologically. 5. Dennis Rodman. Finally, Dennis Rodman, the wild card Jordan could never control. As a Piston, Rodman was a defensive menace who thrived on chaos. He dove into crowds, wrestled for rebounds, and played every possession with reckless passion. Jordan tried everything: trash talk, physicality, intensity, but Rodman absorbed it all. Rodman didn't react like normal players. Pressure didn't make him panic, it made him stronger. Trash talk didn't distract him, it energized him. And when Jordan tried to overwhelm him with scoring bursts, Rodman simply fought harder. When the Bulls later signed him, it was the ultimate sign of respect. Jordan and Pippen realized that a man they couldn't break was better as an ally than an enemy. Rodman's mental resilience made him invaluable. He didn't crack under pressure, and that unshakable mindset made him one of the few players Jordan could never dominate mentally. What ties these five rivals together? John Stockton's unbothered fundamentals, Gary Payton's fearless trash talk, Reggie Miller's refusal to fear the legend, Isaiah Thomas's psychological warfare.
So are you saying LeBron is better than Michael Jordan?
I would pick LeBron James.
There's no way you can convince me he was an asshole.
And you call me an asshole. And then you said you hated me. Apologize for it.
Dennis Rodman's chaotic resilience. Each player survived Jordan not by copying him, but by embracing who they were. They didn't try to match his style or intensity. They trusted their own identities, and that confidence made them impossible to break. To truly understand Michael Jordan, you have to study the rivals he respected, the ones who challenged him mentally, not just physically. These players reveal a side of Jordan rarely seen, the competitor who occasionally met forces he couldn't bend. This is only one chapter of our Jordan series. Next episode, we explore the moments where Jordan didn't just beat opponents. He quietly ended their careers without a word. Click here to continue the journey and unlock the mindset behind the greatest competitor the game has ever known.